Missouri Governor Mike Parson announces new quarantine guidelines for schools across the state. I'm Chris Warner. We'll hear from state and local officials on the changes.
Pittsburgh School District is considering a policy change after an increasing number of teachers are either exposed to or contract COVID-19.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson announces changes to some COVID guidelines for schools across the state. This is KOIM News at 6. The announcement came at his news conference today. KOIM's Chris Warner has more.
Governor Mike Parson says the new guidelines are a result of efforts from the state combined with health officials who have determined the overall spread of COVID-19 within Missouri schools is low.
This new guidance applies if a district or charter school has a mask mandate in place and all individuals are wearing their mask correctly during the time of exposure. As long as they do not begin to show symptoms, those close contacts may continue to attend school in person.
The plan is similar to the one adopted by the Newton County Health Department in September, which Administrator Larry Bergner says he's pleased to see the state is moving forward with keeping kids in school.
Newton County came out first with the modified guidelines because I saw the data was trending that way, and I felt strongly that the data would continue to trend that way, and I'm thankful that it did.
We spoke with 3 area superintendents on how they feel about the change. Dr. Melinda Moss with JOPUN Schools says it should help reduce staff workloads.
If we can cut down on the number of quarantines and do it safely, then that is going to be helpful, and it makes us even more aware for the need for staff and students when they cannot socially distance to be wearing their mask.
Dr. Mark Baker with the Carthage School District says it's a win for students.
Sometimes it feels like we're quarantining kids from education, not from COVID. And it's very critical to have these kids in class. Online works for some, but not for all. And we think this is a positive change. We're still going to be very safe. We still have protocols in place. We're always concerned about the safety of our kids and our staff, and we'll continue to follow that.
Dr. Jim Cummins in NEOSHO says they initially decided against the Newton County guidance because of pushback at the state level, but he's pleased to see the state pushing forward now.
We're excited about it. I mean, it's what we've been asking for. So we will start looking at it immediately. We've already had meetings internally.
In Jasper and Newton counties, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
All 3 superintendents tell us in the past they've had several calls from parents of students who have been quarantined multiple times yet never got sick. The superintendents hope the new guidelines will reduce the number of unnecessary quarantines. Brings us to today's KOAM News Now Instapoll. Today's question is, do you agree with Missouri's changes to close contact guidelines for students? You can vote at KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check back in on the final numbers before the end of this newscast. COVID-19 cases in Kansas continue to rise, with the state reporting more and more new cases through yesterday. The Pittsburgh Community School District says that's causing a new challenge when it comes to teachers. KOAM's Zach Dodge has the story.
For months, one of the biggest concerns in schools has been to keep students safe, and that's still the case today. But now, Pittsburgh School District says they're seeing a different issue because of cases in the community.
What we're seeing more is that we've got more teachers that are having to be placed into quarantine.
According to the district, 2% of staff members were COVID positive on November 2nd. Out of the 750 staff members in the district, that's around 15. Since then, according to the district website, there's been 13 more staff members who have either tested positive or had high-risk exposure. But it currently isn't clear how many teachers are currently unable to work in person, since the numbers the district reports include all staff members, and they won't disclose that number directly. Also, even when teachers are quarantined, they can still teach remotely, but even that still leaves a gap.
Because we still have our students who are in the building.
Yeah.
We have to have proper supervision, and we've got a lot of great substitutes who are here on a daily basis, but if you have more quarantines, do you have enough substitutes to make sure that you can adequately supervise all the students.
The district is currently looking into different policy changes to address the problem, with one option being moving to remote learning within specific buildings.
We don't want to make a knee-jerk reaction. We want to make sure that we are educating our public and our students and especially our staff if we have to make any changes.
Until they decide what to do, officials and some residents are imploring the community to do what they can to flatten the curve.
We as a community, in our families and our own personal circles, if we don't take the steps to care for ourselves, we expose those around us that try to care and help our children.
In Pittsburgh, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
In all of Crawford County, 13 school staff members are under isolation and 24 staff members are quarantined. The Golden City, Missouri School District says it's moving to fully virtual classes until Thanksgiving break. The district says it's not seeing cases within buildings or activities, but that the district is just being vigilant with safety protocols. The district intends to return to in-person learning on November 30th. The Chanute Police Department says they're changing up some policies due to COVID-19. The department has suspended fingerprinting and VIN inspections. That does not include those done for businesses. Also effective immediately, they're asking people who are involved in non-injury car accidents to exchange information with the involved people. Non-emergency calls for service should call Central Dispatch. A supervisor will determine how those calls for service are handled. Miami's mayor, after a battle with COVID-19, is encouraging residents to help protect their neighbors. The mayor is recovering at home now, but in a video posted from his hospital bed on November 7th, he encouraged residents to remain vigilant and wear masks.
If you're out in public, try the social distancing, try to stay 6 feet apart, wear a mask. You know, if you're out, wear a mask. We're not going to mandate a mask. But it's smart to wear one if you're out and you can't social distance. So, and of course, use your hand sanitizer.
Nick Kelly joins us now with a first look at the weather. At least some of us saw a bit of rain today, also saw some sunshine.
Yeah, a little bit of everything after we saw a quick wave work on through Dallas. A couple showers here or there this afternoon, early this afternoon, I should say. We then went back to mostly sunny skies and temperatures mild as a result, with most of us topping out in the mid to upper 60s. We're sitting underneath quiet skies right now, seeing mostly clear skies, and to make doubly sure, yep, we are not seeing a drop of rain for now, at least on the radar network as we sit at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. As far as temperatures go, it has gotten chilly fast, mild to upper 50s across much of the region, and we're not done dropping off by a long shot. Into the mid 40s by 10 o'clock, 40 by midnight, lower 30s for another cold start ahead of us. Let's get the weekend started. But I am tracking rain chances on the way. We'll break that down and a look at temperatures as well coming up in a bit now.
All right, we'll catch you then. Still ahead, the Vice President of Biotherapeutics at Pfizer takes part in the news conference with the Missouri Governor Parson. And newly elected members of the Oklahoma legislature are officially sworn in. Missouri Governor Mike Parson today once again praised Pfizer and the workers at the Chesterfield, Missouri production facility for their latest announcement concerning a COVID-19 vaccine. He was joined by Christine Smith from that facility, who talked about the work the company did, including a 43,000-person clinical trial.
The design of this trial has allowed us to move urgently while preserving the highest quality and safety standards. Pfizer would like to thank the large number of people who volunteered for this trial, including many Missourians.
Missouri Senator Roy Blunt today said Joe Biden should be receiving classified presidential briefings. He joins a growing number of Republicans, including Senator James Inhofe from Oklahoma, who say they're still waiting for final results of the election but believe this part of the transition should move forward. Newly elected members of the Oklahoma legislature are officially sworn in. All 101 members in the House have a lot of work ahead of them as they face a budget deficit. COVID-19 is expected to have a big impact on the state budget next year. Tax revenue is down, especially from the oil and gas industry. And expenses are up. That includes a Medicaid expansion program that's expected to cost the state an additional $160 million a year.
And Oklahoma doesn't really have room to cut in any of its core governmental services. So as a result of that, if we're facing another $1 billion budget deficit, it is going to be a very difficult year to get core governmental services funded.
The legislative session begins on February 1st. A little bit later, we're going to check back in on the final numbers for the KOAM News Now Insta poll on the new COVID guidelines for Missouri schools, and Webb City and Carthage will finally face off on the football field this season. We're going to hear how the teams are preparing for what could be the end of their season.
Up first, we'll look at a chilly start to the weekend ahead of us and more rain chances on the way when we come back. We continue to bounce back and forth between mild temperatures and chilly temperatures. At the very least, we went back in the wrong direction after we had quite a mild couple of days to start this week. We were seeing temperatures mid-50s, chilly yesterday, lower 30s this morning, but a nice rebound back into the middle to upper 60s this afternoon. As far as where we go from here on out, the temperature swing is going to continue. We'll be chilly again with clouds on the increase for your Friday as the new weekend gets going. Then a wave coming out of California. We're bringing better rain and even some thunderstorm chances late Friday continuing through Saturday. We'll keep things dry for Sunday, and we'll look forward to mild temperatures returning for much of next week. In the meantime, any cloud cover with this weak wave that passed on by well to the east of us now, so we're mostly clear in Joplin, but chilly already, 56 degrees with a northwest wind at 6 and a dew point of 38. Gives you an idea of where temperatures want to go once again later on tonight. But until we get into the 30s again, we're not there yet, thankfully. 53 in Pittsburgh, 57 over in Seneca. Most of the Joplin area in the mid-50s, but already back near 51 in Nevada, 50 in Stockton, and some areas close to Table Rock Lake, close to Anderson and Bentonville, trying to hold on near 60. But now that the sun has set, we're going to see temperatures drop quickly throughout the rest of the evening. Already back into the mid-40s by 10 o'clock, near 40 by midnight. I'm thinking most of us will be, everyone will be starting cold, of course, but I'm thinking lower 30s this time around. At the very least, no threatening weather working in this evening. We are dry on the radar network now, but because of a quick upper wave passing by at the start of the afternoon, we did see maybe a stray shower or two, even though it looked more prevalent on the radar. All of this rain that passed on through had to overcome a lot of dry air at the surface, so anything that made it down to the ground, we'll be lucky if we got a few sprinkles or a few drops of rain out of that. On the other hand, though, we still have a cold front passing on through unless we get that well to the east of us. High pressure keeps us quiet for the night, but it's going to bring that northerly wind back into play to make sure we're off to another cold start. Then upstairs, our next upper low, just offshore California, that's going to be the one to give us better rain chances as we head into the start of the weekend. We keep things quiet for the rest of the night. Mostly clear skies, cold, most of us in the lower 30s to start your Friday morning out. Partly sunny skies to start the day, then I think we'll gravitate toward mostly cloudy skies, but at least we'll keep much of the day dry as the weekend gets started. 31 in the morning, 49 by noon, afternoon highs around 54 degrees. But once we go into Friday evening, here's 10 o'clock. Here comes more moisture from that wave out west, giving us chances for rain and thunderstorms. Friday night, continuing through Saturday, then we're going to see another cold front push the rain chances out of here by the time we head into Sunday. So our best rain chances for the weekend will be Friday night, continuing through Saturday, and that could result in about half an inch for areas north of I-44, and then maybe half an inch to almost an inch for areas along and south of the interstate. Behind that system, we will be chilly for Sunday, but back to mostly sunny skies and dry with highs around 55. We'll drop into the upper 30s Monday morning, then we're back mild for Monday afternoon with highs near 60, and we'll keep things mild through the middle of next week and dry too, and maybe pushing near 70 by next Thursday now.
Near 70 would be pretty welcome, actually. You can't complain too much about the temperatures, even as they are.
Oh, not at all.
Thanks, Nick. Still ahead, the Frontenac Raiders are set to play for a spot in the state Final Four, but it wasn't an easy road for the Raiders. We're going to tell you how they got here. And the Carthage Tigers and Webb City Cardinals will face off for the first time this season, and there is a lot on the line. We're going to hear from the teams in sports.
This week is district championship week for Missouri high school football. Now in Class 5 District 6, it was always going to come down to this one. The top two teams in the state, Carthage and Webb City, will square off in a battle of two defending state champs. The Carthage Tigers and Webb City Cardinals square off Friday for the Class 5 District 6 crown.
We were glad to get this chance to come out here and play because not everybody gets to play in these games.
One of your main goals when you go into a season, you want to have the opportunity to play for a district title. This is where you want to be playing your best football.
The two COC rivals were scheduled to play in the regular season in September, but that game was canceled due to COVID-19 issues in Carthage.
That was a tough week on us. I'm sure it was on them.
We played a game that week, so I mean, you know, we were, you know, whatever.
When I found out we couldn't play, oh man, it was heartbreaking, and I'm just so glad we get the opportunity.
It is what it is, and we dealt with it.
Without playing Webb City, Carthage finished off a perfect regular season, claiming a COC league title. Tigers go on to roll 35-12. They finished at the top of the COC at 8-0 overall.
All you guys are the ones that said they were conference champions, so I don't know. Evidently, that's something new to me.
I'm not sure what the kids feel about it, you know, but we just try to control what we can control and get to this point.
The Cardinals are the defending Class 4 state champions, while Carthage is the reigning Class 5 state champ. With Webb City moving up to Class 5 this fall, only one will have a shot to repeat after Friday.
Well, they have two, you know, good teams, but it's just the way it is. I mean, there's only one team that'll end their season with a win, you know, and that's when you get in the playoffs. That's just how it is, the nature of the business.
Oh, this is fantastic, you know, just to be able to play in this type of environment at our place. I think there's nothing better in high school football than that.
Tomorrow night's game will be at 7 o'clock in Carthage. The Cardinals head in with a 9-1 record, while the Tigers are 9-0. On the Kansas side, the Frontenac Raiders are still alive in the 3A state bracket. The Raiders host Holton tomorrow night in the state quarterfinals. Now, this Frontenac team now, definitely not the Frontenac team we saw early in the season. The Raiders dealt with COVID issues and other injuries early, getting off to a 1-3 start. Now, though, they've won 5 of 6, and with a win tomorrow, they would advance to the Final Four in the 3A bracket.
Everything kind of came out, you know, wrong. We didn't have our quarterback to start the year off with. We lost a lot of kids to quarantine, so yeah, it was kind of a rough start. But I mean, all in all, we knew what we could do. We just had to do it.
There was moments where we lacked confidence, and we were doubting if we were good enough to be in this situation. But I told our kids, once district started, guys, if we can get healthy, start rolling, start playing well, nobody's going to want to play you guys at the right time. And I think that's where we're at right now.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Sergeant First Class Richard Hoskins. The Joplin native served in the U.S. Army, and we are proud to salute Sergeant First Class Richard Hoskins. He's tonight's 4-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes from all across this area, no doubt some from your own hometown. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. You just look for the link on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's get a final look at today's KOAM News Now Insta poll. Again, we're asking, do you agree with Missouri's changes to close contact guidelines for students? 37% say yes. The majority, 63%, say no. This poll is now closed. Thanks for participating. Checking back in now with Nick Kelly.
Well, we're going to turn cold, surprise, surprise, yet again for tonight. Lows back in the lower 30s, but we will see temperatures warm back up, but chilly tomorrow, highs are 54. Thankfully, most of Friday's looking quiet. It's not until late Friday night going into Saturday. That's when we'll see rain chances work back in before we turn mild for next week. We'll get a fresh look at our rain chances, including how much rain we can expect coming up tonight at 10 Dow.
Thanks, Nick, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.